Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In Elden Ring Nightreign, I have had this Recluse Heolster clear sitting around, but I wasn't super motivated to upload. I just passed 200 hours in the game, so we can use it as background for another review. I have the feeling that most of my magic attacks miss the boss, but don't worry about minor things like that. I previously did a 100 hours review, but now after 200, I feel like I can do a more proper review. I have now done all the remembrances, so that means I've beaten the last boss multiple times, I've done a few solo clears, and I've beaten all the enhanced bosses. I just have to clear Libra, which I have been saving for last, like its dessert. I look forward to that one because I love the look of the boss and its music. I'll try to get that before the enhanced version comes out. The more I play Nightreign, the more I feel it's a totally different game from Elden Ring. It uses many similar elements, of course, but the gameplay loop and more importantly the gaming mindset are totally different. And to be honest, now that I have Nightreign, I might not go back to Elden Ring, at least for a very long time. The best things about base game Elden Ring that I can't get from Nightreign are the exploration and the lore, and those are done for me, basically. The fact that Nightreign is so experimental and so successful as an experiment blows my mind. There's a purity to Nightreign that is just run, 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 fight, 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 that is like a filtered, high-octane version of the base game, and it's super satisfying. I don't know if anyone remembers me saying this. I said a game I would love would be the Chalice Dungeons from Bloodborne, a self-contained, semi-randomized little world with 3 bosses and incremental progress, but with the build variety of Elden Ring, and look, this is what this is. The only way it could have been better if it were all underground. I don't know why, but I love underground dungeon crawling. I look forward to playing Tears of the Kingdom again for no other reason than to 100% the depths again. And although I did not enjoy farming for blood gems in Bloodborne, I like farming for relics, and I can't wait to buy all the costumes so I can start spending all my merc in the small jar bazaar. And then we can do a couple of tier lists. First, a Nightfarer tier list. As for the characters I enjoy using, my favorites are Revenant, Raider, and Guardian. Revenant has such an interesting variable playstyle that every run feels different with her. I just did a run in Gladius where I had the Starfists and Black Fireball, and I destroyed. I was all over the place, I was getting all the critical hits, I was easily the MVP if I do say so myself. And the other 2 players were bowing to me at the end. Raider is just a berserker, and if I'm in the mood for a straightforward playstyle to just hit stuff, I'll pick him. And then Guardian, I have to be in a particular mood to want to play, because of all the Nightfarers, I feel like he is the most different from all the others. But I do love his playstyle. Wilder and Iron Eye are great, and I feel powerful using them, but not quite as fun as the previous. And then Duchess, I can't use because she's button mashy. Maybe I need to find a build for her that is not button mashy, but also doing the dodges, you gotta hit the button a lot, so I don't know, I might not play her again. Recluse I can use, but I rarely do because the way she plays doesn't satisfy any of the ways that I enjoy playing. And then Executor I just don't use much. The ultimate is not interesting to me. The dual wield status effect build is not interesting to me. And then, again, not to say that any of these characters are bad. I've seen them all do crazy stuff. It's just who I like to use. But yeah, it turns out FromSoft is excellent at designing pre-made characters, and it makes me more excited for the Duskbloods. And then here is a boss tier list for which bosses I enjoy playing. I like most of them. I only dislike one, and then that is Heolster. Fulgor, and then this last boss, I don't enjoy as much, but it's because I'm not as good at them as the others, so if I practice more, maybe they'll go up to A rank. But yeah, speaking of looking ahead, I cannot wait for the DLC coming later this year. Maybe I'll do a predictions video for what it will include. But if they pulled a Shadow of the Erdtree and way over-delivered, like they plopped another game on top of the game, I would not be surprised. I would be amazed, but I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, crazy game overall. Really love it. Alright, and then here I guess we can turn to the fight. I haven't been paying attention, but I'm wondering if most of my attacks are missing. But part of the reason that I don't enjoy playing Recluse is, like, taking the time to, like, absorb the MP from the guys. I don't know, she just kind of feels slower overall for it. I shouldn't have to be doing it here because I have a lot of the Starlight Shards, but I just forgot that I had them, I guess. Okay, so that was the final remembrance that I needed to do. It's Wilder, Iron Eye, and then now Recluse. But actually, I haven't beaten the game with anyone besides them, so I need to go through just to see the kind of the generic ending. I'll probably use Raider. But yeah, it turns out that there's interesting lore for Nightreign as well, and that it might be more related to the base game than it looks at first sight. And I haven't finished, like, you know, diving into the lore of base game Elden Ring either, but I would be doing that through videos, you know? I especially like the Tarnished Archaeologist. I'll link to that channel below. But yeah, I heard about this. Like, with the fulfilling the remembrances, we have to do different things other than go to the final guy. For the Recluse here, we'll go to the bed. We'll find our baby. And then I won't show what happens here, for fear of spoilers. Alright, but here's my build. I used Night Common a bit. Honed Bolt I used a little. Flame of Frenzy, I didn't use that. I used the Crucible Tail. Magma Shot is pretty good in this game. Improved attack power, maximum FP, and then improved attack power at full HP. I should have given that to somebody else. Alright, and then one final step to fulfilling Recluse's remembrance is to go back to the beds. And yeah, for the costumes, I think I have one Dark Souls costume left for every character. I've gotten all the Dawn and the Darkness, so just a little bit more grinding and I'll have all the costumes unlocked.
My fellow spellcaster.
Oh yeah.
For bestowing
This will give me a chance to talk about the voice acting. All of the British or like European voices are excellent, but there are two American voice actors, Iron Eye and then this other witch, and yes, they sound very American. Which is to say, not as good as the English or the European. I've had this opinion for a while, but yeah, still has not changed. Okay, that'll do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.